to what's happening. Right, first things first. Don't be disheartened if you obviously haven't had the best week so far this week. Yes, we've obviously still got 2 days worth of trading, but it's been very, very hard. All right, so yeah, just appreciate that. Yeah, this week's been hard. Trump, throwing in his China talks has kind of made it, yeah, very very tricky. Markets haven't really been moving fluidly. Um, so yeah, well, obviously we're just gonna have to, yeah, just obviously grind out this week. You're always gonna get trading weeks like this. We obviously had last week, which was easy, and then this week, which is a little bit more tricky. So yeah, let's wait and see, how it all kind of, maps out, and how yeah, let's just try and finish the week strong. We've obviously got yields up huge, all right, half a percent. Stock market is kind of, quarter a percent up on US 100, little bit up on here. That's, all that's doing our pairs in regards to, strength. Our currency, or sorry, our commodity based pairs, AD, NZD, and CAD are obviously again at the top. Everything's up on yen. Yen's being hammered. So yeah, let's wait and see obviously what happens here. For some reason, on a higher time frame, I do like euro. Um, I do like euro. I like it to roll over, but let's go through a few. And then obviously we can see what we're going to be looking at here. All right, so starting off, dollar, whereabouts are we? We're obviously trading at 99, which is pretty much where we were trading yesterday. Will it hold? Will it break? We're obviously just gonna have to wait and see. This is obviously what's going to give us our direction. If you look here, market closed here, and then obviously it's gapped up at open, and then pushed up during Asia. So Asia's had one huge push to the upside here. However, London's opened and kind of, closed out pretty quickly. Um, so what are we going to be looking for as well in regards to news here? Apparently there's jobless claims. I think these are going to get taken off. But let's wait and see. It'd be interesting to see if they are on. They shouldn't be. Um, but obviously, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this data does happen. I don't think it will. I think we're going to come up to lunchtime, and obviously this is going to be taken off because we know that government is still in a blackout. So yeah, we're obviously going to have to wait and see what happens there. We're obviously going to be looking into CAD a bit later on. And that's going to be about it. We've obviously got, some more speakers, but obviously they are later on. So CAD is going to be one that we're going to be, looking at here. So yeah, let's wait and see. Um, so dollar currently holding, what is the anticipation and expectation of the dollar? We've obviously been in a blackout now. This is week number three. All right, nothing's really changed. We're obviously hanging on the words of Trump, in regards to how he's getting on with China. How the Chinese do business is very, very slow. They take their time. They want to make sure that they, make the right decision. They're quite hard to do business with in that respect. Obviously, we want everything done today, whereas obviously, they are happy just to make sure that it's right overall. Um, So yeah, that's kind of where the dollar is at, right now. If we look at this on a 4 hour, it's, kind of all over the place. If you read the can candles, you can argue about how quickly it's kind of moved up here, but then obviously this candle here dumped off pretty quick, which would potentially, give you the expectation that, we were then going to start trading to the downside. However, that's not happened. So it's been very, very, messy here. And actually, if you look at it, it's been kind of consolidating a bit, obviously since Tuesday. Yeah, since Tuesday. We're obviously consolidating in this range here, so that's what's making it tricky. We obviously haven't had these fluid, moves, like this, for example, and then obviously this fluid move here. We're kind of trapped at the moment in this move here, which is also which is hard to trade because nothing really, kind of gives us that overall move that we want to see. So let's grade up our pairs, and then obviously we can, have a little look here in regards to, what we're expecting. So obviously at the top, like we discussed, we got AUD, we got NZD, we got CAD, we got USD, we got GBP, we've got Swiss, and then we've got Euro, and then right at the bottom, because it's down against everything, is yen. So is JPY. There we go. All right. That's kind of what we are looking at today. So let's just have a look at, Euro AUD, GBP AUD. So, what would I be looking at here? Right, we'd break through this, right, and then we'd be thinking, right, you know what? There's kind of a nice area here where price, kind of needs to break through to continue. Let's just have a look at this in the hourly. You know, if price can break through, we obviously I know that this move's already happened, but if the if the expectation of what has happened continues, then we could be targeting this area here. All right. So what we want to see ideally is a break. Just have a look. Is a break. Of this, but then we want to really see where was London Open again from 7 to 7:30. Look how much it moved during London Open here. Massive. We've obviously broken backs, so potential retest area for me would probably be, yeah, this 4 hour range here where we've obviously got this price here to test. We've broken out on the hourly, we've broken out on the 30 minute. So potentially coming up and just tapping into this would be a good kind of area for, me. We could have nice, probably 25 pip stop loss. And then yeah, I wouldn't push it too bad, but I mean, you can do it, two ways. We can enter, slightly less lots and obviously raise our, stop loss because obviously we'll be targeting this 112 pips here, or if you want a slightly quicker trade, if we can get a test up in here, then obviously probably 30 pips will be maximum. And then yeah, it's a nice 1 to 3.7 there. So that would be one which I'd be looking at. But obviously remember, anywhere in this range here, all right? We just want to tap into it. You could even enter it here. All right, we just want to tap into it, and yeah, just obviously be happy that we are, yeah, we've come back and obviously tested this area here. I actually think this. this is pretty strong. I'm going to put this in the group. So Euro AUD. Just before I do, I just want to monitor on the 15. Yeah, it's a bit like this is obviously what we're looking for here. I potentially think one more read test, and then yeah, we're obviously good to go. I think personally, any read test into this area, we've obviously crushed through, had a rejection. So any read test there would be good to go on GBP AUD. So let me just add that in. Sorry, it's Euro AUD. There we go. Euro AUD. Sell trade setup. I'm going to put wait for a retest. Probably into near 1.78 400. That's what, right. So I'd like to see a nice read test here and then a continuation. Um, so what else we got here? Euro NZD, that looks like it's pretty much gone to me. Euro CAD. Euro CAD's going to be an interesting one. Let's just go through this on a bit of a higher time frame here. What are we looking for? We've already moved all this away. Let's just have a look. Yeah, monthlies will be targeting down there. Weekly time frame, it's engulfing, so you would imagine it's got some downward momentum here. Prices have been moving pretty slow. If you look at the daily range here, we've had a huge day, short day, huge day, short day. Are we due a huge day? I'd like to see this level here broken. Let's turn that yellow so we know what it is. I'd like to see this day here broken. Just have a little play around here. I think 100. Just leave it around there. What does that look like on a lower time frame? I mean, that would be a true kind of test of it. There'd be a couple of options here. One would be obviously waiting for it to push up. See, this is ever so slightly wrong. What's that one? That's 8:30. So 7 o'clock. So this is the opening range here. I was half asleep when I did these, but this is the opening range here. Yes, we obviously got this level of support here. All right. So, but obviously, if we're looking at this, it is a bit messy because it's been very, very choppy. But obviously, if we are looking at it, let's just delete some of these just to make it a little bit tidier. We could argue that I always recommend everyone gets their highlighter tool out. I mean, price is moving slow, but it's moving to the downside here. We could come up and retest this. So my ideal scenario would be to come up and retest probably this area here, but I don't think we're going to. I think we're just going to continue, but then we've also got this, this low here, which is going to hold up pretty well because, it's obviously held up previously. However, these have come and tested into this area. So, let's potentially wait and see. We could have a nice, healthy start. I'm going to put a pin in Euro CAD. Let's just have one more gaze at this one. There we go. There. Let's just put them above. So yeah, we could look at a few yen pairs. We've also got CAD JPY currently testing Asian high. All right, I was speaking to someone yesterday about the importance of the Asian high. If we look here, this is the London Open range here, and then obviously this is the Asian high here. So this is holding well. It wouldn't hurt me past this to go and buy this. Plus, we're obviously trending to the upside. So yeah, anywhere here, I think this will continue to pump pump to pump from here. So I'm going to put that in as well. CAD JPY. That's another one there. All right. So that's that one there. Let's have a look at AUD I don't like this move quite as much. You know, yes, I do think it's going to trend higher if we're having a look at this on a higher time frame. We've got this target area here. However, you know, you've also got to be looking at the risk kind of angles of it. All right. If we've already had this huge move here, you know, are we really gonna enter after all of this price action here? You know, we've obviously had our bit of consolidation here. We've pumped up. You know, I'd be a lot happier entering here if we had this kind of, you know, notion here where prices consolidated and then obviously we can get that pump. NZD, you know, very similar. It's a bit too clean. USD JPY, very similar to. I'm not really that excited about it. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off on yen. Euro's weak as anything. Euro USD. I do like that they're this. I like how I'm just gonna adjust this because I know that's you know, we've obviously had the London opening range, obviously broken out. We have already retested it once. We've also got the Asian equilibrium here, but obviously we do have the Asian low. If we're looking at trend on, say for example, a 30 minute, let's just have a look at an hour. So let's look on a 30. Then, you know, we do have a nice trend forming. Yeah. All right. Nice trend. So, but obviously we do have a bit of support here. We have quite a good bit of support, as you can see. This all came in, and then obviously we've got a main. This is a weekly level. It's one that we reacted off yesterday, but yeah. Mm. Oh, I'm gonna put a pen in that one as well. GBP I do like. It's pretty much where it was. Let's have a look. 7 o'clock. Yeah, so that's there. I'd like to see this trending to the downside, if I'm honest. Not really pushing it too hard, but something like this. Um, I would like to see on the 15-minute time frame a nice breakout, and then a retest, and then yeah, I'd be happy to take this one. So I'm just going to put that one on here as well. Something like this. So let me put a little call box on here for everyone to see. So check on the 15-minute, waiting on a breakout. Breakout of opening range. There we go. So I'm going to leave that one in too. I do like that. There we go. So that was this one here. GBUSD. Right. I'm just gonna have one more look at the dollar. Dollars, you know, starting to pump. I actually think we could be pleasantly surprised with dollar, and it could continue. So then we're going to be anything euro based. You know, you're going to want to sell it. Let's just have a little look through GBP. Yeah, nothing, just nothing looks that great if I'm honest. I haven't enjoyed trading this week. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been one of those weeks where I'd rather have not. But there we go. Gold, if anyone wants to have a little look at this. So we obviously had a nice, nice day. Yesterday, or a bit of indecision yesterday, as you can see here. Just get rid of this. There we go. Get rid of you. Make it really clean. There we go. Get rid of all of this. There we go. Right. So let's just go on a daily here. What's obviously been happening. Right. We've obviously had this big tail off on Tuesday. And then now we're obviously having the indecision here. Yeah. All right. Where, you know, it's not sure what it wants to do now. This, level here is holding. So let's just have a little look at what might potentially happen. So we've obviously got our Asian low, all right, which we might as well mark that up because that's going to be important. I do think this will be tested. I'd like to look at this. You guys know I like trading the US session only if I am going to be trading gold, but I like this area here because we've obviously held up a couple of times. So I like this area here. Um, yeah, that's correct. So that's our London opening range. Um, I like what I would like to see is during London, we just pull the down here, come back and test this area here, potentially break through, but maybe not. And then obviously continue down. I don't want what I don't want. I mean, it might make it a bit easier actually. Is if the London session low pretty much equals Asia, then obviously we've got one hell of a line to enter on because it's gonna be testing a bit like yesterday, both London low and Asia, and then it's relatively easy to trade off of it 'cause once it breaks it's gone, and then obviously if it holds then yeah that it's not going to break because you've got double the kind of the session barriers there. So let's just check on euro. Yeah, like we said, pound. Yeah, yeah, see what this is the beauty of pre-marking your trades out because what it means is you're obviously it will put you off entering, or you're also identifying what you want to see. All right, so let's do one if dollar is weak. Let's add one more in if we get a weaker dollar. So let's just look at if we do get a weaker dollar. I just don't like euro. Just have a look here. If we get a weaker dollar, I don't see why CAD wouldn't be, but obviously we've kind of in a bit of an all over trend here. Let's just delete these and have a little look at what we could potentially be looking at. I like the idea of a USD CAD. Let's just have a look at this on a slightly higher time frame here. Nothing really in regards to higher. You could mark that up, but I wouldn't. Weekly wise, I mean, we've had a nice reaction from here, but again, I mean, it's really messy. USD CAD. Uh, daily, we obviously are trending to the upside here, as you can, see. We obviously, it's just very, very messy. Let's have a look on a 4 hour. Technically, starting to look a little bit nicer, if we were to look. at this here. We've obviously got our consolidation as everyone can see, right? USD CAD loves consolidation, right? Consolidation broke out, broke back in, obviously made its new equal high. This is on a 4 hour low, high, low. Is this our kind of time frame here? We could also mark up this area here, but I think this has already been and gone. Hmm. So we've got a 1 hour, 30 minute. Uh, I mean, even this looks to me like, look, we've obviously got Asian, low here. We've tested this one, two, three t times. There is, yeah, yeah, that's not a trade at all. NZD is flying. AUD is going to be flying. Let's have a look at our Euro AUD. Yep, starting to fly. Euro CAD was obviously one that we were, looking at here. Mm. I mean, if CAD was to weaken, I do. No, I'm not going to trade that. Uh, do you know what, guys? I think we're going to hold off on this because I'm not, looking. Um, I'm not, looking at anything else. Um, till we've obviously, yeah, hopefully join, London. We can have some direction of this because it's very, very messy. All right. So we've got in the group, we've got CAD, JPY, we've got Euro AUD, and we've got GBP USD. GBP USD, guys, needs to break out of this opening range. So box 730 needs to break out to have a continuation to the downside. All right, and obviously dollar, I'm will have to break through this upper band here. We then obviously got Euro AUD, which is running nicely. Come back here and obviously retested this area. And then what was the other one that I put in? Euro CAD JPY. CAD JPY. Now, I do like this. I like this trending to the upside. I am happy. We're obviously in this upward trend. The only thing that could potentially drag it down is USD JPY, but I think if we get a little bit of strength on here, that's going to drag them all up. So I do like CAD JPY as it is. We've obviously come back with testing this Asian high. We've tested it once, can break, twice, couldn't break. We're also in the London opening range. We're trending to the upside. We're above the, 50 EMA. CAD is, stronger than yen. There's like, six confluences why to take this trade. So I do like CAD JPY. So right, guys, I'm going to hold it off here. I'll keep you all updated, and yeah, and then we'll yeah hop on probably around 2 p.m. Have a good one, guys.